Hello students. So we discussed unbiasedness in the previous lecture and we saw how a class of unbiased estimators can be created. So now let us look more into it. So there are situations, in fact most of the situations we have more than one unbiased estimator. So suppose T1 and T2 are the two unbiased estimators. Then any convex combination of T1 and T2 will be again an unbiased estimator for the same parametric function. So this gives an example or gives a case or a method in which way multiple unbiased estimators can be created. So it's like we have a plethora of unbiased estimators. So how can we choose an appropriate unbiased estimator? So one method we have already discussed, that is the error. So let us try to look into estimator or choose an unbiased estimator which carries least possible variance. So how can this be achieved? An estimator now with minimum variance is obviously preferred over the other estimators. But how much variance will be available or can be achieved? How much less variance do we expect when we consider unbiased estimators? So Cramer-Rao inequality provides answer to this question. It gives you a limit for the variance of unbiased estimator. So how much low can you go when you are dealing with unbiased estimators? So let us try to understand how do we establish this inequality and what it does. So suppose X is a random vector with joint PDF belonging to this class of PDFs. So where theta is the indexing parameter and it's a real valued parameter. So assume that the class satisfies these following regularity conditions. The first regularity condition is the support of the distribution is free from theta. So therefore S theta will be simply S. Then the second condition is that this identity. Now this is for continuous distributions. In case of discrete distributions, one will have summation. So this identity holds for every theta in the parameter space. So this can be differentiated under the integral sign at least twice. So if you try to differentiate this with respect to theta, then you can take the derivative inside the integration only if support is independent of theta. So this we have already mentioned before. So just like these two conditions are required even for defining Fisher information, so the same conditions are needed here. So now suppose that these two conditions hold, and now suppose we are interested in estimating psi theta, a parametric function. We further assume that the class of unbiased estimators of psi theta is non-empty. It means at least one unbiased estimator exists for the parametric function psi theta. So suppose T is one such unbiased estimator of psi theta, then it is such that the differentiation under the integral sign is valid at least once. Means if you are integrating T with respect to the joint PDF of Xi's, then or some function of T, then when you differentiate that with respect to this integration with respect to theta, if you differentiate, then that differentiation you can take inside the integration. So this is what we mean by this condition. More about this condition will be clearer to you when we prove this Cramer-Rao inequality. So let us first try to understand. Here I have tried to elaborate. So for every theta in the parameter space, if you integrate this T with respect to the joint PDF over the support S, then differentiating this integration with respect to theta is possible, and this differentiation can be taken inside the integration. So DABA, I'm sorry, this theta notation shouldn't be there. This should be simply Tx. So this Tx should be, so now this derivative will be applicable to f alone. So this will be dabba f by dabba theta, which I can rearrange as dabba log f by dabba theta by dividing and multiplying this quantity by fx theta. So dabba log f by dabba theta will be dabba f by dabba theta into 1 by f and into f. So f will get cancelled. So this is the logic. So we have just adjusted the terms. So this is what is going to happen. So this is what we mean by the condition C. So this is nothing but, since t is an unbiased estimator of psi theta, so this integration is basically expectation of t. So that will be equal to psi theta. So on the right hand side, obviously you will have derivative of psi with respect to theta. So these are the conditions. So under these conditions, now we get the Cramer-Rao inequality as the variance of the unbiased estimator t of psi theta will be at least as large as the squared derivative of the parametric function which is to be estimated divided by the Fisher information contained in the entire sample on whose basis you are estimating the function. So see, this is how I always try to remember the statistical expressions. So instead of mugging up the expression like dabba psi by dabba theta whole square by ix theta, what I try to do is I try to remember the concept itself. So what we mean by Cramer-Rao inequality is that the Cramer-Rao inequality provides you the minimum possible value for the variance of unbiased estimator of a parametric function. And what is that inequality? So the inequality gives you the squared value of the first partial derivative of the parametric function which is to be estimated divided by the Fisher information contained in the entire random sample. So this is how one can easily remember the Cramer-Rao inequality. So the right hand side of this inequality, that is this quantity, is known as Cramer-Rao lower bound. So you might be already familiar with this. So suppose T star is an estimator such that T star is an unbiased estimator of psi theta and variance of T star is equal to Cramer-Rao lower bound. Then this T star is said to be a minimum variance bound unbiased estimator of psi theta. Because T star is a special unbiased estimator in the sense that its variance has attained the minimum possible value, and so the term bound is there. And so this estimator T star is such estimator that no better estimator, a better unbiased estimator can be provided for this function. So better in the sense of variance. So there cannot be an unbiased estimator whose variance is lesser than the minimum variance bound unbiased estimator. And so this T star, such an estimator we call as MVBUE in short, or minimum variance bound unbiased estimator. You may come across a situation, a special case where this doesn't work, means either this kind of estimator doesn't exist, or you may adjust an existing estimator such that the variance is even further lower than Cramer-Rao lower bound. So are there any cases where this can happen? All these questions we will answer in the course of time, the due course of time. Let us now try to prove this inequality. So let us try to first build up the proof. So see, this is what we want to prove. So we need to prove that variance is greater than or equal to something. Now I hope you are familiar with the variance covariance inequality. The variance covariance inequality states that, I hope you are able to remember. So we are going to use this variance covariance inequality in order to prove this Cramer-Rao inequality. So let us first try to obtain expression for variance of t. So now under the regularity, this we have already proved. The first two regularity conditions are nothing but the regularity conditions needed to define Fisher information. So there we have proven that the expectation of dabba log f by dabba theta is 0. So if you consider the covariance between dabba log f by dabba theta and t, this will be simply because the individual expectation of this random variable is 0. So the covariance will be simply expectation of the product term. Now why do we need this covariance? Because note that this dabba psi by dabba theta is nothing but, look at this dabba psi by dabba theta, and this is nothing but expectation of Tx into dabba log f by dabba theta. So and now you know that expectation of dabba log f by dabba theta is 0. So this term, basically this integration is nothing but the covariance between Tx and dabba log f by dabba theta. So when we put this condition, the condition C, that time itself we have established one fact, that the covariance between these two variables, that means the expectation of the product of these two variables, is dabba psi by dabba theta, and this dabba psi by dabba theta is appearing here. So this is nothing but the squared covariance between the variables Tx and dabba log f by dabba theta. So this third condition we are going to utilize as much as possible in order to prove this inequality. And that is why we are considering the covariance term first. So let us consider the covariance between dabba log f by dabba theta and T. So clearly this is just expectation of dabba log f by dabba theta into T. So if you substitute the terms, what you get is dabba psi by dabba theta. Hence, if you use the variance covariance inequality, what do you get? Dabba psi by dabba theta whole square is less than or equal to, so the squared covariance is less than or equal to the product of variances. This is what you mean by the variance covariance inequality. So now if we find the expression for variance of dabba log f by dabba theta, we are done. But what is variance of dabba log f by dabba theta? Now because the expectation of this random variable is 0, so the variance is simply expectation of the squared random variable, and this is nothing but the Fisher information. So what do you get? You get variance of T. So if you take this term to this side, you get variance of T greater than or equal to dabba psi by dabba theta whole square by Ix theta. So the proof is really extremely simple. So this is how we get the variance covariance inequality, the Cramer-Rao inequality. Now suppose T star is a unbiased estimator and it reaches Cramer-Rao lower bound. Then what you will have? Covariance between T star and dabba log f by dabba theta square will be the product. So product of variances. So variance of T star and variance of dabba log f by dabba theta is Ix theta. So Ix theta you will have. So, but when this happens, do you remember the variance covariance inequality properly? When do you get the equality from that inequality? Under which condition does it hold? It holds if and only if the correlation between these two variables is either +1 or -1. This equality will be there only if the correlation between these two variables is 1. So correlation can be either +1, means if they are perfectly correlated with each other. So when do you say that the variables are perfectly correlated? If the correlation coefficient is either -1 or +1. So this equality will be true if and only if you have this. Now what we are trying to do here is we are trying to get some expression for T star using this condition. So what we must have when this will be true? So if this is there, so what I have done is I have just written the substituted the expression for correlation of T star and dabba log f by dabba theta. So upon simplification I am going to get this. What will be the correlation? So try to simplify this, you will get this. So T star minus psi theta upon root of variance of T star should be equal to plus minus dabba log f by dabba theta upon root of Ix theta. So if this is the case, so now again go on simplifying this. What do you get? So but root of variance of T star is nothing but absolute of dabba psi by dabba theta upon root of Ix theta. This we have already shown. Na? Here we are assuming from here we get this. So root of variance of T star is this. Why are we taking the absolute sign? Because it is positive square root. Na? So we should take the absolute here, because dabba psi by dabba theta can be positive or negative. But we are looking for the positive square root of this. So we should take absolute value of dabba psi by dabba theta here. And so if you substitute this here, you get T star as psi theta plus minus this quantity. So if an unbiased estimator reaches Cramer-Rao lower bound, then it may be of this type. Now if you look at this stare at this expression for a couple of seconds, you will realize that T star is depending on psi theta. Here theta is involved, here theta is involved, here also theta may be involved. So how come T star? How can T star remain a statistic? If it is an estimator, it should be free from theta, isn't it? So how can T star remain a statistic basically if all these terms are depending on theta? So if T star exists, it so happens that the terms containing theta cancel each other and finally you get T star purely as an estimator. So we will see some examples to have a better understanding. And one more question. Can we always get a solution to this? Means if we have say psi theta, or is it possible to get an unbiased estimator for a parametric function which attains Cramer-Rao lower bound? Is it possible for every parametric function to get a unbiased estimator which attains CRLB? So this question too we will try to answer in this lecture itself. So suppose xi's are Poisson random variables with mean theta, and now suppose the parametric function of interest is e raised to minus theta. This e raised to minus theta we have discussed before also. Suppose, so the joint PDF will be fx theta will be this. So log f will be minus n theta plus summation xi log theta minus summation of this. So now, so dabba log f by dabba theta will be, go on simplifying. So summation xi I can write as n times x bar. So if you further simplify this, the derivative looks like this. So let us try to substitute everything there. So what do we get? Psi theta is e raised to minus theta plus minus absolute of dabba psi by dabba theta is again e raised to minus theta. Then this dabba log f by dabba theta also we have got. So upon substitution what do we get is this e raised to minus theta plus minus this theta e raised to minus theta by n into this dabba log f by dabba theta. I theta I forgot to mention here, but I theta is nothing but dabba square log f by dabba theta. So if you differentiate this again with respect to theta, what you will get is this first term will be 0, the second term will be minus n x bar upon theta square. So dabba square log f by dabba theta square, sorry, here I have worked it out. So expectation of minus dabba square by log f by dabba theta square will be expectation of n x bar by theta square, which will be n by theta. So this I have substituted here as theta by n because upon ix theta is there. So what is happening here? T star, if you try to simplify, it doesn't matter how much you try to simplify, this n is getting cancelled, but this e raised to minus theta is remaining there, na? This is not getting cancelled. See, even if you have say n x bar theta e raised to minus theta minus theta square e raised to minus theta. So here every term is going to contain theta. So T star is no more a statistic. So forget about estimator. If it is not even a statistic, how can it be an estimator? So T star is depending on both x bar and theta, and so here I have mentioned it is not even a statistic. So for e raised to minus theta, I am not having any minimum variance bound unbiased estimator here. But let us change psi theta. Suppose I have simply theta. Suppose psi theta is simply theta. Then can we get an unbiased MVBUE, means minimum variance bound unbiased estimator? So if psi theta is theta, then dabba psi by dabba theta is simply 1. So if we go on substituting dabba psi by, so this term is only, here we will have to change. So we will get T star as theta plus minus theta by n into n x bar minus theta upon theta. So this theta get cancelled. Here n gets cancelled. So I get only theta plus minus x bar minus theta. So you will have, so theta will get cancelled if you take the plus sign. See, T star either you take the plus or the minus. So here I have chosen, I have taken to be the plus. So then I'll get T star as X bar. So this X bar is minimum variance bound unbiased estimator for theta. So for psi theta equal to theta we do get MVBUE, but for psi theta equal to e raised to minus theta we do not get. So thus it may not exist for some parametric function. So instead of looking for an unbiased estimator which attains Cramer-Rao lower bound, we may start looking for an unbiased estimator which has minimum variance among all the unbiased estimators. This is the idea. Why? This was the purpose of discussing Cramer-Rao inequality. The purpose was that there exists a lower bound for the variance of an unbiased estimator, and the lower bound may not be attainable in some cases. So every time finding an estimator which attains Cramer-Rao lower bound may not be a practical way to get better unbiased estimators. Instead, what we can do is we can try to find a better unbiased estimator using the existing unbiased estimator itself. So the first step towards the solution can be to create a better unbiased estimator using the existing estimator. But how can it be done? So the answer is provided through Rao-Blackwell theorem, which we will discuss in the next lecture.